A transfer record to reinforce. Arrive one of them there, Forza Sensi already has this summer. Season fixtures including the man in Macau a week ago, Antonio Cam.
We know well from Conte, Rajananglan is here.
And through Lamela before Lucas Moura takes over, takes on Skriniar and scores! Wonderfully well, Lucas Moura continues his excellent record in front of goal in pre-season. Well, it didn't take long, did it? Just a couple of minutes on the clock in their first fixture in front of their own fans this summer. And Lucas Moura gives Spurs the... There's an kick in the process.
Milan have found it hard to get a foothold in this game already. Starts, so they're certainly behind in fitness levels, energy.
Moura takes over. Not quite.
Conte's been down his path before, hasn't he, in terms of tempo.
Making his mark in Milan with Inter already. John Lamela by Brozovic.
Can't compete wages.
There's Esposito. He did well to win it and deliver dangerously. Here comes Spurs again with Kane. Trying to muscle his way through the middle. Go past a lot of them. Well, it was a challenge born out of frustration, I guess, having been dispossessed in the first place when he caught long for the run of Gagliardini.
But I do enjoy when it closes and you can actually assess what teams have what and how competitive and how strong they will be.
Here comes Spurs with Sissoko. Quite kick-off is not the case in Serie A. Here's Danny Rose. He will win the free kick in dangerous territory.
For a fullback, he's so comfortable centrally. Picks the
free kick. Harry Kane looks a firm favourite to strike, and Ndombele involved in the conversation with him with his back to goal here. He's in to organise that wall. It will be Harry Kane, and he knew from the moment it left his boot it wasn't accurate enough.
Too much height. He stands over, and we talked about as a complete centre forward. We know it's dangerous in those situations as well, but he'd be disappointed by that.
The experienced Italian international, over half a century of caps for his country. Challenges flying in again, and it's Lamela once more that brings it away. Just overrun it a fraction. Esposito. First player born in 2002 to feature in a Champions League or Europa League game when he made his debut against Eintracht Frankfurt last season. He's won the free kick. Sensi takes it, the new signing. Spurs with plenty of bodies back in the box. Needed some space for Dalbert to advance. Taking on the back-pedalling Walker-Peters. Does have men in the middle to aim for. The crosses behind the primary list of targets. Candreva will try and return it. A bit more menacingly. Arch inside foray forward once more. It was there to be hit. Brilliant effort with beat Lloris and bounces back off the frame of the goal. Well, he caught it so sweetly.
What a strike. Lloris is at full stretch and still gets nowhere near that. And how that doesn't hit the inside of the post and go in is beyond me. What an effort.
It will be Eric Lamela to take it. Kane was his initial target. Sanchez is scrapping for it. And the free kick.
The Italians struggled to stay in the game, but slowly but surely got a foothold in it. And the difference there is that Suso, for AC Milan, from that type of distance, hit the target.
Well, Lamela
play
opens up for him because of that. And Brozovic had to get the challenge right from behind. It was an awkward 1-2 attempt. And the free kick given.
I wondered whether or not Andre Mario will pull back. Ambrosia.
Again, here's the high pressure. Spurs
from the back and a new rule in which we're just seeing players inside the box receiving passes off the goalkeeper.
Here he is again, taking the ball from Walker-Peters and delivering in. It's a throw here rather than the corner for Spurs. He's again had covered good ground before Harry Kane takes over. He did have Lucas Moura in the middle. Now Inter have worked this so wonderfully well, and here is the opening for the equaliser. It is taken brilliantly. Well, he's made a real difference, hasn't he, since signing this summer. Forza Sensi kept his composure. He was close earlier in the half, no mistake this time. Tottenham 1, Inter 1.
Brilliant build-up play. Talked about how good Tottenham are defensively in terms of fullbacks narrowing to centre halves. but they've been caught out by some brilliant play. Walker-Peters has switched.
Come again, Gagliardini, the furthest forward this time. And still, he's done well to win that, even better to charge forward with it.
And Ndombele this season. And
well, Lucas Moura's won it back. Well, it was an intelligent ball. Esposito trying to make something of it and apply the pressure. Miller scrapping for it with Candreva. Albin is Lucas Moura, the man who started the scoring ahead of him. This is Sissoko. Deflection took the sting out of the shot, really. Handanovic for a moment wasn't quite sure where it was going.
Got into a brilliant position just in that 10, but just...
And Danny Rose and still away from Candreva. He's looking for Lucas Moura. De Vrij got his foot to it. Which might be the last action for many of these players today. Walker-Peters cut out by Brozovic.
The ball needed to be better, but this one is.
And he gets it back from Sensi. Standing his ground.
But that's the one thing that he needs to work on in terms of reading situations better. That he doesn't just look to win the ball on the front foot.
But equally, as is always the case in pre-season, a fair bit to work on as well. That is that for the first 45. Well, Maurizio Pochettino's Spurs side got off to a storming start. There were only a couple of minutes on the clock when Lucas Moura put them in front. A well-worked goal, teed up by Lamela, and a fine thumping finish from the Brazilian. Spurs still being led out by Hugo Lloris and Harry Kane. Alderweireld is going to come on, we understand, in place of his fellow Belgian Jan Vertonghen at the back for Spurs. The changes at this juncture, anyway, are being kept to a minimum for his country. Also debuted under Mancini last May. So here we go for the second half then. It is Inter in their change kit to get us underway from right to left. Just the two certainly remains here. Inter launching it long immediately, but it was the assistant on the far side that gave it Dalbert's challenge on Kyle Walker-Peters. Inter off on the front foot with a little bit of room in which to work. Sensi flicking it forward almost inadvertently, he had to try and improvise. Harry Kane. Eriksen arriving in support. This is Christian Eriksen. He couldn't pick his way through. Provide still with danger to deal with. Walker-Peters, who does have assistance from Kane, who was having his shirt pulled there, and that's a Spurs free kick.
He's got trailing an 8 count as it stands. See how hard the front players work. He gets dragged back as he does
there first. Handanovic under pressure, just about survives the scare. Finds Sensi finding Dalbert, flag up on the far side.
That's not by chance.
Picking up the pieces, finding Perisic, squaring up to Alderweireld. It came off the big belt. And Skriniar, obvious targets here. Eriksen to Walker-Peters, who will try again to provide the service. Kept in, was it initially by the corner flag, and then a particularly painful one.
Took the ball full in the face there. No malice intended, but it would have been a saw.
Yeah. Getting more minutes now with the season getting closer. Kane caught in possession. The assistant for the coach. Well, his team got it the other end here. They have a couple to try and pick out in the middle. Perisic didn't quite connect with the spectacular touch on that. Brozovic under pressure as well. The whistle has gone as Eriksen threatened to come away with it.
Lamela again. I'd like to see his tackle count. Look at that sliding, crunching tackle.
The midfield
again.
hard man. Giving it away to Eriksen. Tees it up for Eric Lamela. And Perisic is the target. He's going to get there just ahead of Alderweireld. Even cuts his down, but he's got a fair few to aim for. It's a wicked ball in. Hits Sanchez. Could have gone anywhere. It went straight for, including in goal. Gazzaniga has been a regular feature throughout pre-season. The Argentine is on. Son will be suspended for the first couple of matches of the Premier League season. But a huge ovation for... He's still got it. Still trying to make something of it. Tanguy and Ndombele. Rose in support. And now Son. They will settle for the corner.
And Dombele's excited these fans already. We talked about his dribbling stats in France and how impressive into the tank. So they come January, February, when it really needs to be called upon, it's there. London derby at Wembley against Arsenal, made the decision to play him centrally, and it was that type of driving run that he gave the team to force their way back into the game.
There's Sensi, the inter-goal scorer.
Lamela again. What a ball.
Oh, it's a brilliant ball.
The centre forward out of it, knew there was pace on the ball.
It's a well-timed ball into the path, or at least the intended path of Puskas. It's an intelligent ball. Politano will get there in awkwardly, but Evanson Sanchez does his job once more.
Forward, the pass by Barella was to the left wing then instead of the right, but recovers to get back.
He's presented it straight to Son, with all sorts of space to surge into. Support arriving as well, as Son goes through the gears. It's still with Heung-min Son. Everything but the finish. He covered the length of the field before Handanovic makes the save.
Great play off of Tottenham. They've gone into this new famous wall of support they've got to our right-hand side.
Well, Eriksson was the only Spur first with Christian Eriksen, and it's saved by Handanovic. Well, for the second shootout.
That's a poor penalty. It looks like he just wanted to get it over with. And think of
early advantage then. First kick of the shootout for Inter. Son for Spurs scores. That's a couple against Gazzaniga. And we're all square. It's a really good penalty into the court.
Can close the foot.
Kudu for Spurs here. How about that? And also score. Substitute scoring. Bandela in the game. Toby Alderweireld. Politano picks out the top corner. Oliver Skip from the spot. Saved by Handanovic. Away. Danica. João Mario wins it wonderfully well.
That composure we talked about. No surprise that a player of his experience has it in abundance.
That's kept his composure.